This episode of Going in Raw is sponsored by BetterHelp. The holiday season is all about giving, but many years ago when I was dealing with severe anxiety, I wasn't giving myself a chance to define how I gave to myself until I started therapy and learned the tools I needed to cope with my anxiety.
So if you're thinking about starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's completely online and designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited for your schedule. All you got to do to get started is fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched up with a licensed therapist, and you can switch therapists at any time for no additional charge.
In the season of giving, give yourself what you need with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/raw today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/raw.
Hey, friendo, Steve here.
And Larson.
And welcome back to Going in Raw, the only pro wrestling podcast you need to be listening to. On today's episode, we're talking WWE Smackdown. Randy Orton chose his brand. Also,
But did he choose wisely?
AEW Collision. Eddie Kingston versus Bryan Danielson tore the house down. Ooh, those chops were something special, Larson.
Ooh.
But first, let's talk about this. It's Monday. We usually talk the news. There's been a response. Bryan Danielson confirming his role in firing CM Punk. If I'm not mistaken, let me tell you guys, I haven't actually watched this or read it. I'm assuming he said, oh, that guy was a real so-and-so. He was a real bleep. And so we got his ass out of here, elite for life. Is that what he said, Larson? Can you confirm?
Not at all. This is what he did say. So Danielson was on CBS's Maggie and Perloff.
Maggie, what? She started her own show without us?
I guess
What
so.
the flip and flip?
And Bryan Danielson talked about his role on AEW's disciplinary committee and his thoughts. CM Punk's dismissal from the company's transcripts come to you from cage side seats. What Bryan Danielson had to say, quote, I don't know if he sounded that standoffish. Yeah, I'm part of a disciplinary committee. What's it to you? I don't think that was I doubt that was his tone at all. He says, yes, I'm part of the disciplinary committee, and clearly what happened has happened. I'm somebody who I like CM Punk. I think he brought a lot to AEW while he was there. But, there's not a lot I can say about it or that I really want to say about it. But yeah, I'm a part of it. It's really funny because you know how the internet is. It's like some people would say I was the head of the disciplinary committee, and I'm like, listen, there are more than 3 people involved in this decision, but most of them are all lawyers. To say that I was the head, I don't even have a college degree. I'm not in there bossing people around or anything like that. But yeah, I am part of the disciplinary committee. And as someone who, I have a lot of empathy. I'm grateful for the time he was able to spend AEW. He did a great job for us. So yeah, I wish him the best in his future. And I hope that his run there goes well.
All right. Well, there you go. And there you have it. Bryan Danielson, whatever his name might be. A strict keeper of the peace there by any means necessary, putting all those lawyers in cattle mutilation until they're forced to kick this guy who's coming for his spot out of the company. No. As always.
No, by all accounts, Bryan Danielson's objectivity is above reproach.
Probably didn't want it. Probably this is a tough situation.
If if you're friends with somebody, that puts you in a tough spot.
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
If you're imagine if we had a Going in Raw disciplinary committee, and I was on it, and you were subject to an investigation.
I'm not on the disciplinary committee?
No, because it's a conflict of interest if you're subject of some sort of disciplinary investigation.
I'll be honest.
This time you farted next to my hamburger, and I filed a complaint.
See, that's the difference between us. I'm not a savage. I wouldn't do that to you. You're a sick person. I should be on the disciplinary committee. I'm going to kick you out of here for farting next to my
passed
food.
for that, Steve.
The statute of limitations is up on the farting?
Statute of limitations passed on the farting near the hamburger. That was more than 20 years ago. Come on now.
Maggie would probably be on a disciplinary committee, right?
Yeah.
I think it'd just be her. We don't know any lawyers. God, that's probably the bigger issue. Is like, oh, man, this sucks that I have to fire my friend. But you know what sucks even more? Being in a room with a bunch of snake lawyers. Ugh. That'd be horrible.
Well, here's the thing. It's
all
not
their
like
legal
Danielson
speak.
said, oh, I gotta fire my friend. It was simply a situation probably like there's the evidence. Oh, there's video of Punk doing something that was seemingly fireable.
Yeah.
And Danielson, along with a room full of lawyers, came to the conclusion that they would recommend Tony Khan that he dismiss Punk. It was ultimately Tony Khan's decision.
Is there like a legion of Going in Raw listeners that are lawyers and they're like, What did we ever do? I just woke up. Steve said, fuck us. What's up with that? I'm just joking. But yeah, I don't know. I like to think that it was like, a bunch of these lawyers and Danielson gathered around a little monitor watching, CM Punk choke out Jack Perry and getting there laughing and then being like, okay, guys, he's got to go. I don't know.
Yeah.
But sounds like it was probably a difficult decision. Look, it's fun to joke about it. CM Punk got his bag. He's in WWE making his bag there. I'm happy to see old Phil in the WWE. He seems like he's having a good time there. So in the end, maybe everybody ended up getting a win. You know what I mean?
It worked out for everybody. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. It kind of seemed like that, at least right now.
Although apparently this morning, wrestling fan and Hollywood actor O'Shea Jackson still wants to talk about all the CM Punk stuff because I guess they're friends.
Yeah.
So he's out there on the Twitter still talking about this stuff. But I don't know. I still maintain, probably some of the things he did probably could have been done a little bit better. That brawl out press conference, that was what they call a disproportionate response. Hangman comes out.
Yeah, I would say so. Like I've said before, if it's simply he wanted to go out there and say to the wrestling press, somebody's telling you that I got Colt Cabana fired, they're lying to you.
Mm-hmm.
You want to put an end to those rumors? Put an end to those rumors right then. Done.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
But then to bury the company, the executive vice presidents, all that.
Yeah.
It's a bit much.
Yeah. I'm just trying to do something here in chat. Says everybody except Jack Perry gets the win. I don't know. I think he's going to be part of this big devil angle.
He is. If he's not the devil, he's one of the devil's goons.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe not. Somebody, one of our friendos, and I sent you this comment, so I could probably just look it up if I look at my pictures here real quick. Somebody said that they were at one of the last Dynamite or whatever.
Yeah.
And when all the devil people came out with their cheesy devil mask screen prints on.
Hoodies, yeah. Yeah.
And he said that he felt that Roderick Strong was 1,000% one of the devils. And it sort of plays in your theory. Every time Roderick Strong shows up, he starts blaming Max for being the devil. Mm-hmm. It kind of fits. And we've talked about how the other guys in the kingdom, they're probably, I don't know, they sort of look like they could be the henchmen.
Yeah. You get Wardlow, you get Roddy, and you get the kingdom.
God, I screenshot way too much. I have no idea where this is.
Oh,
I can't give you attribution. Friendo who was there.
I saw that comment as well, but I didn't screen cap it, so there's no way of me finding it.
Yeah, there you
quickly at least. You want to talk about SmackDown? We had a couple highlights here. One of them's in the thumbnail.
Yeah,
that being Randall Keith Orton has decided where he's going to wrestle now that he has returned to WWE after 18 months out of the company following a back injury. It was a really effective segment. You had Adam Pearce and Nick Aldis both trying to make simultaneously their pitches to Orton in the ring.
Pierce was doing too much.
He was.
Speaking over all this. Randy, come to Raw. I guarantee you I can give you a shot at the consolation title.
I know. You're a Raw legend. It's appealing to Randy's ego. And offer him the shot at the B title.
Yeah.
Whereas Aldis, I mean, come on, this is an easy choice. Aldis is, I'm giving you the entirety of the bloodline, if that's what you want.
Yeah, right. That's
you can get your pound of flesh from each member of the bloodline.
Mm-hmm.
If you so choose, if you sign the dotted line here on the blue brand.
Yeah.
That's an easy choice for Randy. Because what did he say on Raw when he was there last week? I'm going after the bloodline.
Yeah.
What does Pierce get to offer that's going to top that?
Orton, I'll make a new bloodline so you can go after them. It'll be Karrion Kross. Shit, no, he's a SmackDown guy. It'll be I don't know.
No, this is what he'll do. He'll go to Judgment Day's locker room and say, "Hey, you guys all need to wear bloodline shirts."
Can you guys rebrand the purple bloodline?
Yeah, purple bloodline.
Yeah, there you go. So if I was Pierce in that situation, of course, I would say, Randy, you want to give up your Friday nights? Do you realize, I know you have better stuff to do. You're a man in his prime. I know you got a wife and kids. What you're telling me, they don't want to go to Chuck E. Cheese on Friday nights or John's Incredible Pizza or bowling,
I went bowling this weekend.
I like the various things I'm offering up. You're giving me yays or nays just with your face.
Well, bowling,
the Friday night zoo. Do they have the zoo open on Friday?
Do they have special events at the zoo on Friday evenings?
Yeah, man. Come out, watch the Night Bears, and the Night Lions and stuff like that.
I don't think that's the case, Steve.
I don't know. I've never been to the zoo on a Friday night. I don't know what it's like.
I haven't either.
Yeah. So that's what I would appeal to. I'd be like, Orton, Friday nights? Come on. That's for chilling.
Or I mean, I guess the all this could counter with Randy. Every weekend's a 3-day weekend for you. You don't have to work. I mean, I know they have house shows over the weekend, but I don't know if Randy's doing this. You have to work on Mondays. Every weekend's a 3-day weekend for you.
Yeah.
And heck, if you're not doing house shows, you probably got to only really work 2 days a week. You got to travel to the destination the night before you do the show. You're the first flight out.
If this isn't true, it should be. Zondo says Friday is fight night at the zoo. Polar bear versus shark.
I don't believe that for a second.
Zondo says it.
Which zoo is Zondo?
The zoo where he's nearby, apparently. Wherever that is.
See, Aussie says, wouldn't he get a 3-day weekend if he's off on Fridays? It hits different when it's a Monday, though.
That's true, man. Because Sunday, you go swimming, you go to somebody's backyard barbecue. Monday, last thing you want to do is work. Trust me,
exactly.
I'm there right now. Emerald City Pictures has become a member for 14 months. Says, do you guys think Jade Cargill is debuting in the Rumble? And if so, does she win? Also, give me some of that sweet, sweet daily CM Punk news. Oh, I forgot. Let's do some retroactive Punk Daily news.
No, you can't do it retroactively.
We just did the thing. So this is the outro for Punk Daily as we dive into the Smackdown recap. Here we go.
Talked about Orton
we just did some Punk Daily news now.
Smackdown highlights.
It's all done. We just did some Punk Daily news. Larson too. He did all the Punk news. There we go. It's all good. It's all good. Anyways.
12 minutes into the show. 12 minutes.
Also, Akon22 here with a super chat. Says, with the Okada news, do you think WWE and New Japan come to an agreement to let Okada in the Rumble? He mentions this Okada news. You want to talk very briefly about this Okada business? Sports
Illustrated thing, excuse me, that just came out like right as we were starting, where they report that Okada is going to be a free agent next year, and that he is interested in exploring his options potentially outside of New Japan.
When you say next year, are we thinking like January or February 2024? So
usually, and I don't know if this is always the case, usually in the past, contracts have come up in New Japan either right after Wrestle Kingdom or not too long thereafter.
Right.
So I would guess it would probably be January, February. But again, I'm not privy to the exact details of his contract.
New Year's Dash, a big sign off for Kazuchika Okada, much like the Young Bucks got a huge sign off at New Year's Dash.
Oh, exactly. Kenny Omega too. Cody Rhodes, Hangman Page, all of them.
They got nothing. Let me ask you this. So let's talk about Kazuchika Okada before we dive back into the SmackDown stuff. If you're Kazuchika Okada, you're a free agent. WWE already lost out on getting Will Ospreay. Who would you have wanted more if you're WWE, Ospreay or Okada?
Wow, that's tough. Ospreay's younger. He's like at the peak of his buzz and popularity right now.
Over the hill, says you. Bet Okada. Okada's over the hill at this point? Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm not saying Okada's over the hill. He's got a ton left in the tank. He's still generally regarded as one of the best wrestlers in the world, but so is Ospreay. You know me. I'm a huge Okada guy.
You're an Okada. The answer is Okada, I think.
The answer is Okada. Here's the thing about Okada. I know Ospreay has adjusted his style somewhat. So as he's getting older,
he's going to have to keep on adjusting if he goes to WWE.
Exactly. Whereas Okada, he just wrestles like Okada.
Yeah, right.
So, the fear is that Ospreay's body might continue to break down. So, I mean, obviously this is the case with anybody who professionally wrestles. I mean, Orton hardly works a historically physical or difficult style, and he has had major back surgery. He kept him out a year and a half, probably because his finisher involves him taking a bump on his back. Mm-hmm. He's done it thousands of times.
Yeah.
So wrestling a high-flying style does not necessarily lead to immediate body breakdown, because we've seen that countless times. I mean, Jushin Liger wrestled 30 years.
Mm-hmm.
He's an innovator of all sorts of crazy high-flying stuff. Nonetheless, the more pragmatic, safer pick of the two would be Okada.
I think there's still lots of time for Ospreay.
Mm-hmm.
So I would think more time than Okada anyways. I think Okada right now, he's got more accolades than Will Ospreay.
Oh, obviously.
You know. I mean, he's like basically Mr. New Japan Professional Wrestling, like of all time. And I'd bring him in. There's a lot of cool things he could do there. Have him do the big entrance with the dinosaur thing. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, cool. Ospreay now. I'm sorry, Okada now, and then in 2025, bring on Will Ospreay. 2026, whatever it is.
Well, it's probably more like 2027, 2020.
Well, depending on how long you sign. If you only sign,
I would
2
imagine
years,
it's probably going to be a 3-year deal.
Maybe. I don't know.
So 2027. But then Ospreay would only be 33 then. I think he's only in his early. I think he's like 30. So
yeah, right. I know that. He just said he's 30. So yeah, man, absolutely. And I think that's right. Eastside says Okada's more of a sign him now because he might be done soon. That's what I would think too.
Yeah.
And here's the thing: Ospreay and AEW is only going to increase his brand value there.
Yep.
Let them do the heavy lifting, and then he just comes over to WWE. I'm assuming AEW is not going to be able to hold on to him. I won't go WWE, bruv. Listen.
Pipe down.
Before we talk about SmackDown, you want to pay some bills, Larson?
Let's do it.
All right.
Let's do it.
So, this episode of Going in Raw is sponsored by BetterHelp. Larson?
Huh?
The holiday season, it's all about giving. And regardless if you get gifts or not from your loved ones, you get to define how you give to yourself. So whether you treat yourself to a day of rest to recharge, go easy on yourself during tough moments, or decide to start therapy, remember to give yourself some love this holiday season.
Yeah, back in my mid-20s, I found myself in a tough spot after I started dealing with severe anxiety. And it got bad enough that I faced the decision. Was I going to allow my anxiety to get in the way of my happiness? Or was I going to go to therapy so I could start learning the tools I needed to better cope with my anxiety? And it took me a couple tries, but I eventually found a therapist I felt comfortable talking to, and therapy got me back on path to living a happier, more productive life.
So if you're thinking of starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online and designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited for your schedule. All you got to do to get started is fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist. Then you can switch therapists at any time for no additional charge.
In the season of giving, give yourself what you need with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/raw today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/raw.
Perfect timing for this raid from Thea Trinidad. Right in the middle of an ad read. Good job. Well done. Now you guys can get some better help. But now you can get a SmackDown recap. Thank you so much for the raid, Thea. We really appreciate it. That's really awesome.
Raiders.
And welcome, Raiders. Yeah, we talk about all the dabba-dabba-E and AEW stuff over here. So
Steve, I got a question for you. We just
had
a video go up on Friendo called Wrestling today.
Yeah, we did.
Where we tried to predict what the Rumble card was going to look like a good month and a half or so out from the Rumble.
Yeah.
I fear that those predictions are already out of date because it looks like we're getting Kevin Owens versus Logan Paul at the Rumble.
Mm-hmm.
Yes or no?
I mean, he's part of that. They're doing a tournament to determine the number one contender. Yep.
It'd be a good match.
Yeah, it'd be a real.
From SmackDown, the promo bits are going to be great because their back and forth was already awesome.
You think he's gonna? But Kevin Owens would lose that match.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah, I think he would lose that match because they're not
going
to have him
beating Logan Paul for that belt at WrestleMania.
Man, I don't know. Yeah, maybe he still gets big pops, but man, the Bloodline story right now, it is a big nothing burger. It's great. I love it because Jimmy Uso is hilarious.
Yeah.
He is absolutely
RKO
hilarious.
As they're cleaning up the ringside area after the show ended.
Yeah.
Great.
But like, when's Roman supposed to come back? Before the Rumble.
Yeah,
what?
Before the Rumble, because he's got to build his match against Randy.
Right. Is he gonna do like the tribute to the troops? They're so loaded right now. Like CM Punk is gonna be a tribute to the troops next week. Like what? Really? That's crazy. So yeah, I mean, it seems like it. It's gonna be a good match. And I really liked Kevin Owens. I like their promo stuff. Look, dude, Logan Paul, he's fucking entertaining, man. He's entertaining when he's out there.
He can be.
Yeah, he is. But I don't know, like Kevin Owens doing that instead of the Rumble? Yeah, I guess so. Again, they're loaded. There's only 30 spots for the Rumble. Triple H likes to use who he has like now.
Yeah, I know. Who's to say that, somebody can't pull double duty? They'd be in the match earlier. You've seen it before. In the Rumble later on.
Yeah, it's possible. That's possible. But yeah, that could be an interesting feud. That could be something interesting. Kevin, the only thing is, like, Kevin Owens doesn't strike me as the kind of guy, like, what he said in his promo strikes me as kind of from the heart. You know, like, it took me 6 seconds watching you on Vine to understand that you're not up my alley, basically, you know?
Jackass. He called him a jackass.
Yeah, jackass, exactly. He's like, it's a shame that you got that title on right there. But yeah, I think it'd be like probably a really good match. I don't know, maybe Logan Paul's hella cool to him backstage and that's all he cares about, you know? But yeah, I mean, the thing about Logan is that he seems like he really likes being there, which I think goes a long way probably. But yeah, I feel like that's going to be the thing. It's funny because you mentioned the video and I was like, man, I feel like we kind of cheated by doing it this close to the Rumble. But,
I know. Well, I mean,
yeah.
Initially we did it 2 weeks or at least a week before Survivor Series.
Yeah, here's the thing, man.
Get it up.
I feel like, you know, as it pertains to that video, everybody go check it out, please. Friendo Club Wrestling, go sub to that channel. By the way, please subscribe to this channel as well. We're trying to hit that palindrome number. But no, man, I feel like the next video, you know, the next time we predict a card, I'm talking about we got to do WrestleMania 41. You know what I mean? Like, we need to predict them way out. Could be even more impressive. But yeah, Kevin Owens versus Logan Paul.
In 2 weeks' time, we predict the Mania 40 card, and then a week before WrestleMania 40, we predict the 41 card.
Perfect. Even better. Perfect. But yeah, I don't know. I think that that'll be a good match. It'll be a good match.
Yeah, it will be.
I love they're putting Logan in there. There's people who are really good match guys, you know. But they have so many of them right now.
I know, like basically everybody on the roster is a really good match person.
Pretty much, absolutely.
You mentioned our goal of getting to 198,891 subs, palindrome number.
Mm-hmm.
We're 134 away right now. That's
it. 134.
I know.
Hold on, let me check some numbers here.
It seemed inconceivable to be this close to hitting our goal just 2 weeks ago. Yet here we are, within arm's length of hitting our goal. If you haven't subbed the channel yet here at Steven Larson's Going in Raw W and AEW podcast, please hit the subscribe button. Hit the notify bell so you know when we got new stuff going up. We got 5 podcasts that go up every week, sometimes more. Also, while you're hitting buttons, go ahead and give this video a like. We like getting more than 200 likes, or at least 200 likes when we're doing these.
Here, tag me in for this one, Larson, because let me tell you something. Okay.
He's got to let me tell you something, so have at it.
Let me tell you something. Right now, we got 498 people watching the show.
That's nearly 500.
It's almost 500. It was a 500. Then, you know, it went down.
Oh,
now it's a
506.
Okay, great. But what I noticed, that little number next to it on my screen says 103 likes.
That's just like 1/5.
I know it's Monday and everybody's like groggy because they got blotto drunk on the weekend and they're waking up. They're like, maybe you forgot. Maybe that's the problem. Maybe y'all need to dial back on the alcohol so that you can give us a couple more likes. You know what I mean? Stop walking in a Monday all groggy and hungover and you forget to hit the like button on YouTube. Come on. Hit that like button. Oh, there we go. Up to 123. A couple people shook off, you know, the hangover enough to hit that thumbs up. They're like, what is the like button? There's no L. It's a thumbs up. It means like. Right. So do that. Hit that like button. I'd really appreciate it. Let's try to get that up to. We would really
appreciate it.
Let's try to get that up to like 200 likes by the end of the show today. I think that'd be amazing.
Please.
That'd be
It'd
great.
Be fantastic. It'd mean a lot.
Yeah. Also,
it would mean a lot.
We got bonus episodes. We've got question threads. We've got access to our huge predictions challenges. This last time won by the B-Man, Patrick Sparks. If he can win this thing, anybody can. So make sure you go to, that came out wrong, go to patreon.com/Steven Larson, $5 a month, or click join on the YouTube. Hit that join button. And it's $5 a month, and it really helps Going in Raw. And then you get access to the predictions challenge. I mean, look, it's as far as Patrick Sparks, transitional champion I've ever seen one. Somebody new is going to be champion at this next big prediction challenge. It could be you. So hit those buttons. Hey, friendos. Pat here. Why am I catching strays now? Dude, first the lawyers, now Patrick Sparks.
Pat's huge win. Why can't we just say,
it was huge.
Wow, this is great. Big. Congratulations.
I loved it. I thought it was Patrick. He's one of my favorites. But this one time we put this guy on camera, he was off within 10 seconds because he was so vulgar. It was like, we got our standards and practices.
Yeah, that's true. I guess I can't argue with that perspective.
Stama here in YouTube chat says, they review Collision yet? We ain't even close.
We haven't got through We ain't got through SmackDown
We
yet.
haven't even started SmackDown. Let's go ahead and do that now.
We're
Bianca
using into
Belair
it today.
Bianca Belair comes out. She's got the best theme music in wrestling, man. I love that song.
Good song.
Says it's so cool to be in the greatest city in the world, Brooklyn. She says last week Damage Central tried to take us out, but my team, we came together and did what needed to be done. Shout out to Becky for coming through, Shotzi for her guts, and Charlotte for being a bigger person and making that call too. Becky feels good getting the win at War Games. She said we went to war with Damage Control, but it ain't over. EO, I'm still coming for you because I want my title back. So Damage Control comes out, but no Bailey.
No Bailey.
Dakota says, Bianca, you know what? Let me tell you something. It's really great how you can get all these people to cheer for you. I mean, just earlier, EO was saying how disgusting it is here. Who would want to live in Brooklyn? She said, you're way in over your head. She's already beaten you twice. So if you want another title shot, you're going to have to go through all of Damage Central. And Bianca says, that's nothing new. She said, you should have seen it back when Vince was booking me, man. I ripped through you guys easy.
Yeah.
She says, who wants it first? Because all of y'all can get it. Charlotte comes out with Shotzi as some backup. She says, ladies, Bianca isn't the only one coming for EO. I'd love to go through all of Damage Control, too. Shotzi says, seems to me there's enough Damage Control to go around. And then they run to the ring, brawl with Damage Control, and then the faces clear out Damage Control from the ring.
And I like how commentary said, seems like War Games solved nothing. A huge match like War Games
Some
is
shade at Triple H there.
I know, the blow off to whatever you're doing.
Yeah, right.
The kickstart, seemingly, of whatever you're doing. So we go to commercial, we come back, Damage Control is backstage. So Bailey walks up to him and is like, you should have told me it was going to happen. I could have got out there. Things could have happened differently. And Dakota's like, she kind of brushes her off and says, you faced Bianca plenty. A lot. Can you help Kyrie prepare for her match against Bianca tonight?
Yeah, but then more
Bailey's
complications ensue. Yeah, Bailey's like, wah.
Right.
After that, we had Butch versus Bobby Lashley. We had a Lashley promo. Was this the backstage bit between them?
He was in the ring, and the crowd was
Oh.
just cheering for Bobby.
They didn't do. Yeah, they did. I thought they did like an earlier or last week thing when they had a little face off. But
They
anyway.
did.
Okay,
Yeah, I didn't really make note of it. 'Cause
A quick
it happened last
reminder.
week. Yeah.
So Lashley's in the ring. And yeah, so that's apparently a thing now, is that WWE needs to smarten up real quick. People ain't going to boo Bobby Lashley.
No, well, this happened when he came back and started recruiting Street Profits.
It happens every single week.
It happens every time because
It
Lashley's
happens
amazing.
every time. And the thing that I love about it is that this is that thing where you can sense that the crowd is just going to like keep on going and going and going. They're going to take over until. And so, yeah, you put him in there. And obviously they're trying to tell a story with Butch. And they haven't heard from Sheamus in months. And it's like they don't have cell phones or something. And Ridge is on the out. So it seems like they might be transitioning Butch to either be a solo guy or maybe Tyler Bate will show up and get called up. And he'll get his name back. He'll be the bruiserweight.
Get the bruiserweight back.
It'll be
Pete
Pete
Dunne
Dunne.
back. Peter Dude.
So Lashley's in there. He says, hey, listen, kid. When I told you to make a name for yourself, don't do it with me. You know what I can do to you? I can break you into pieces. Are you ready for that? And then Butch smacks the mic out of his hand. Ref calls for the bell. And then, in fact, Bobby Lashley tears him to shreds in the end. Butch held up his own. But in the end, Lashley gives him a spear. Nobody posts themselves in the corner the way Bobby Lashley does. It always seems so violent. But he hits a spear to get the win here over Butch. He has a moment of self-reflection in a moment. But first, Paul Heyman walks into Nick Aldis' office, Larson.
Yeah, so Heyman asks Aldis, did you invite Randall Keith Orton to SmackDown tonight? And Aldis says, I actually intend to sign Randall Keith Orton to an exclusive SmackDown contract tonight. And Heyman says, does my tribal chief know about this? And Aldis says to him, Paul, you seem to forget that this memo is about right here. In fact, I have it right in front of me. It says, all communications with Roman Reigns must go through Paul Heyman. So consider this, that communication. I intend to sign Randall Keith Orton. And if I have to offer up the entire bloodline to do it, so be it. So my question to you, sir, is, what are you going to do about it? And Heyman says, anything it takes.
Gotta be careful. Gotta be careful, Aldis. Gotta be careful. Butch afterwards, backstage, selling his loss. Kayla walks up, says, hey, let's talk about Ridge walking out on you. Why did he do that? Butch says, I don't know, Kayla. I don't care. It's not about the brutes. I've got to focus on me. I'm on SmackDown to fight, and I will fight anyone. Yes, boy. Pretty Deadly steps in. Wilson tells Butch, don't be sad. This can be an opportunity. Unless, like your career, it leads to a dead end. And then Butch attacks, and he gets tossed into a road case.
Yeah.
Bad night for Butch.
It was not a good night for old Pete Dunne. Next, we got a Santos Escobar interview. Kathy asked, what can we expect against your match against former Legado teammate Joaquin Wilde? And he says, I'm only trying to finish what Ray started. Ray turned his back on the LWO a long time ago, and he chose Carlito over me. Now my brothers, Del Toro and Wilde, are still blinded by their heroes. Rey Mysterio, he's going to do the same thing to them. Cruz is still recovering from the last time he tried to stand up to Ray. And if Wilde can't see the truth, I'm going to put him on the shelf right now.
And he pretty much does that. We got Santos Escobar versus Joaquin Wilde. Of course, Joaquin Wilde got plenty of shit in, but Santos hits a Phantom Driver to get the win here. Really fun stuff. These guys got good chemistry. Yep. Afterwards, Santos starts pummeling Wilde with some punches after the bell. Dragon Lee runs to the ring to make the save, chases off Santos for a hot second, but then Santos just comes back around, gets right back in. Lee hits him
that's his thing, essentially the Grandpa Simpson gif, where he leaves only to come back.
He takes advantage of the fact that wrestlers don't really pay attention. Like when one thing is out of their field of view,
I know.
You know, it doesn't exist anymore.
Exactly.
So Santos gets back in, but Lee hits him with a Rana, trips up Santos in the corner, follows with a slingshot drop kick, checks on Wilde, hits another drop kick, and then Santos is like, okay, this isn't working. I'm out of here.
Yep. Then backstage, Nick Aldis is shaking Logan Paul's hand. More on Logan Paul in a moment. But first, we're in Nick Aldis's office. He's looking over a contract in a folio. Closes the folio. Adam Pearce steps in and says, please tell me the rumor I heard wasn't true. You're going to try to sign Randy Keith Orton away from Monday Night Raw? From right under my nose, he's a legend on Raw. Raw legend, he calls him.
A Raw legend.
Raw legend. Aldis answers, Randy's a free agent. And yes, I do intend to sign him right here tonight in the middle of the ring. You had your chance on Monday. And Pierce goes, scoffs, says, you going to take that contract? Well, I think I'm going to join you. He holds up a folio of his own with the Raw logo on it. Ooh. The implication is there's a contract inside.
Yeah, man.
He looks around and says, nice office, and leaves.
Yeah. So after that, I love this rivalry between Aldis and Pierce because Pierce is he's kind of on his heels here, you know, like Aldis is coming at him pretty strong, very confident man. Logan Paul comes to the ring. He's got a promo. He says, to every friend who stabbed me in the back, to every hater, this is like Michael Jordan's Hall of Fame induction.
Yeah, it does. It is.
Every hater you prayed on my downfall, I got a question for you. Where are you now? He's holding up his title. He says, you don't understand. Don't you get it by now? The more you hope I fail, the harder I work, and the harder I work, the more I win, the more I win, the more I get to stand up here and say, yeah. He says, to all you jealous superstars backstage who are mad I'm the fastest rising star in WWE history, you all want this title? It's been on my junk, just like all you have since I got here. That's great. I rub my nuts on this thing. Oh, man. He said, but a champion's only as good as his challengers, and since Ray got injured, I couldn't give him a rematch. So I got good news. I spoke to Nick Aldis, and we've created a tournament to crown my next challengers. It'll feature Santos Escobar, Dragon Lee, Karrion Kross, an NXT superstar, Grayson Waller, Austin Theory, and, of course, Kevin Owens. I can guarantee whoever wins this tournament is going to have a nightmare trying to take this belt away from me.
Kevin Owens comes to the ring, says to Logan, you want to talk about a nightmare? This, you, in my ring, is a nightmare. First time I ever saw you was like 10 years ago on that app Vine. Back then, it only took me 6 seconds to figure out you were an unbearable jackass. You want to talk about junk? The only junk around here is that crap drink you peddle. You know, I'm here to tell you that I'm in this tournament, and your nightmare is about to be over because your days as champion are numbered.
And then Paul says, you know, it's funny because you call yourself a prize fighter, but buddy, I've been in the ring with the greatest boxer in the world, and if we fought 6 seconds is 5 more than I need to knock you out or to KO you.
KO responds, I'll never take this away from you. You're very clever. But that's a different world. WWE, this is my world. So he gets right in Paul's face. They argue. Waller's music hits. He and Theory come out to the ramp, and Waller says, look, to Logan, you're better than that. You don't need to engage with Kevin Owens. He's just a troll trying to get attention. But forward-thinking disruptors like the three of us, hey, we have a lot in common. And Theory says, Kev, you love punching people in the face, right? Well, Look who you're standing across the ring from. Logan Paul, the man who knocks people out. Logan's actually never knocked anybody out as far as I'm aware. So after Logan's done knocking you out, maybe your days punch people in the face are over. So, of course, what does Kevin Owens does? He punches Austin Theory or Waller. Mm-hmm. He tumbles out of the ring. Theory. Waller checks on him. And then Kevin Owens steps up to Logan Paul. His music hits. And then we go to commercial. We come back. We get Kevin Owens versus Grayson Waller.
Yep. They are trying to do what they can to protect Waller. Waller took a roll-up loss here to Kevin Owens. Meanwhile, what's the face? Logan Paul was on commentary, and again, even when he's on commentary, he's pretty good.
He feels very comfortable. He was instantly comfortable in that environment.
I mean, it's sort of his thing, like with the podcast and everything. So it just seems like that's probably the approach he takes. Yeah. But I do appreciate that still. He makes a point whenever he talks about Rey Mysterio of saying a guy who I beat fair and square, clean.
Yeah.
And and he denies any hint that he used the brass knuckles. I thought
exactly. I'm curious where they're going to go with this whole idea that Kevin Owens broke his hand during this match. I guess it just means short term he won't be able to punch Theory or Waller in the face, but is that going to be a thing they're going to carry through this? I mean, I guess so, unless they take him out of the tournament. It's a thing he's going to have to deal with the entirety of this tournament.
Yeah, I guess, because I guess here's the point. If you look at the other participants in the tournament, let's see here. Santos
is taking on Dragon Lee in the first round next week.
But I mean, I'm just saying, look, Karrion Kross, Grayson Waller, Austin Theory, and an NXT superstar, and of course Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens has won everything possible to actually sort of stack some odds against him.
Yeah,
that's probably why.
Could be. Then we got a CM Punk video package about his return. He's going to be on Smackdown next week. Not
Tribute
Raw
to the
this
troops.
Week.
Yeah, man.
Smackdown next week. Then we got our main event match, Bianca Belair taking on Kairi Sane. Are you surprised at all that Kairi took the loss here?
I mean, I really shouldn't be. I think Bianca Belair looked legit upset during this match, by the way, because there was, maybe it's just, a chemistry thing or Kairi coming off Stardom. I don't know. But there was a couple spots where Bianca had to deadlift her, a couple times. And some of it I was like, oh, they don't seem like they're on the same page in this match.
It seemed like there was a couple of miscommunications.
Yeah. So you can never say it'll surprise you that Bianca Belair beat anybody in Damage Control, because she's literally taking on three at the same time or two at the same time, whatever. That being said, yeah, kind of. Although I guess it just feeds into Bayley's story. Well, it accomplishes two things, right? It feeds into Bayley's story that she's totally going to get jumped out sooner than later.
Yeah, totally.
And then the other thing is it sets up Bianca for an EO match. I want to go through all of Damage Control. And, I mean, Kairi, I don't look right now anyways. Kairi is sort of a cartoonish heel who I don't think it's going to damage her that much to take losses, given that if they're going to do anything with her significant in terms of a solo push where she's going to need wins, that's a ways off.
Yeah.
So they can rebuild her up down the line. So yeah, I don't know. It didn't really surprise me all that much when I think about it. Going into it, I was like,
yeah, oh. I mean, it's Bianca Belair, and she's one of, if not the top star on the SmackDown Women's division. You don't expect her to lose a whole lot of matches. Just the match being Kairi's first match back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right.
Singles match back, it does be,
Yeah.
But at the same time, yeah, it does feed into Damage Control story. So, earlier on, during Bianca's entrance, Damage Control is standing in gorilla position, and Dakota notices that Bayley's kind of standing a little bit away from the rest of Damage Control, asks if she's fine, and Bayley says, yeah. And EO very directly says to Bayley, you're staying back here tonight.
Yeah, man.
Wow. So the rest of Damage Control leave for their match. So during the match, Charlotte and Shotzi come out with Bianca. The rest of Damage Control come out with Kairi. Eventually, they're all ejected from ringside. So it's just a one-on-one bout, no one ringside. So Bianca's looking for a KOD. Kairi escapes that. She's looking for a glam slam later. Instead, Kairi sent her out of the ring. She's looking for an elbow off the apron, but Bianca catches her and hits her with a glam slam against the barricade. So she puts Kairi in the ring. Bayley shows up ringside and yanks Bianca down by her braid on the apron. So Kyrie sees her, and they have a moment where they're like, cool, we're on the same team. Kyrie gives her a high five.
Yeah.
Goes up top. But I guess the delay there because of Bailey showing up allows enough time for Bianca to get to her feet. She punches Kyrie and then follows with the KOD to get the win.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Bailey. I mean, again, it's the kind of thing where Bailey doesn't mess up, but she's around and didn't secure the win.
It's the appearance of messing up.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
Like, she didn't lose the match for her team at War Games. She did everything she could to help her team win.
Yeah.
However, she took the pin. So it appears that she lost the match for her team. In this instance, she was out there to help Kyrie.
Yeah, right, exactly.
And if not for that moment where Kyrie's like, hey, we're cool, high five, then Kyrie could have hit the elbow and could have won, hypothetically. But just that little time where they had the interaction was enough. And so it's appearance. All right, Bailey, you cost her the match. No, Bailey tripped up Bianca to put Bianca in a position where she could take the elbow potentially.
Yep. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. And then we had our main event segment, which was Adam Pearce and Nick Aldis making their pitches to Randy Orton. So Aldis and Pearce both stand on the ring. Aldis introduces Orton. Orton comes out jacked. His shoulders are huge. Pose to the crowd. Does his pose. Larson, can we get a look at that pose, please? There you go. Soak it in, baby. Yeah, damn it. God damn it. So anyways, so Aldis is about to talk, and Pearce like, Randy Orton. Yeah, I didn't get to come to Monday Night Raw. You're a legend on Raw. And Aldis is like, don't interrupt. And then he still does.
Exactly what he said.
They still does. And they're like, they're just talking over each other. And Pearce is like, Randy Orton, I will give you a title shot for the loser of Jey Uso, Jey Mysterio, and Seth Rollins. You will get that World Heavyweight title shot. And nobody in the crowd believes that matters. What does that matter? And then Aldis is like, Randy, I'll give you the one thing. Nobody, Adam Pearce can't give you the entire bloodline. It's all yours. And so Paul Heyman interrupts. Well, look who's back. After 18 months on the shelf, thanks to Roman Reigns and the bloodline, Randy Orton comes home looking for revenge. There will be no RKOs this evening, and there will be no decision made by Randy Orton, because the bloodline will make your decision for you. Solo's music hits. Him and Jimmy come to the ring. Clowns. And Randy gets overwhelmed. L.A. Knight. Larson, are you sad that L.A. Knight didn't wear his vest on Friday night?
Yeah.
Huh? Is he trying to add some dimension to his character by wearing a L.A. Knight raglan instead?
Bad idea.
No vest. But he still had the tight
for me
jeans.
if he just got the vest. Nah.
So he comes out. Still a huge pop for L.A. Knight. He drops Jimmy with a clothesline. Low bridges Solo to the floor. Solo pulls Knight out. They brawl to the back. Orton hits Jimmy with a draping DDT. Follows with an RKO. Orton stares at Heyman, then asks Pearce and Aldis to give me the contracts. Orton looks at them both. Chucks the Raw one, and you see Pearce like looking at the folio as it's flying through the air like, oh, is there red on that thing? Damn it.
Yeah.
So he signs the Smackdown one, drops it on Jimmy's chest. He says to Heyman, which is, I guess, now his catchphrase, hey, Paul, if you call Roman Reigns and you tell him, Daddy's back. And then Aldis gets in the ring, raises Orton's hand. Bad move, Aldis. You'll learn.
Yeah.
He gets hit with an RKO. So evidently he could just dole him out these days. That's not going to he's not going to be, a bit more judicious with his RKO.
No, not at all. Still doling out RKOs left and right.
He gets up in the corner, hypes up the crowd, and I think he poses again. Larson, you want to give us that pose one more time? Here we go. Warm up, baby. God damn it. I got to get you some baby oil so you can do that with baby oil next time.
I'm well short of the amount of muscles necessary to pull that off, man. I had a good chest day today, but even then, long way to go before I get RKO bod.
Oh, man, I forgot to tell you this. It's a funny story, so I'll tell it to you on air.
Sure.
We went to Serenity Spa in Roseville and got a couples massage yesterday.
Yeah.
And the girl working the front desk was eyeballing me when I walked in. And she was like, "Do you have a podcast?" And I was like, "Yes, I do." She said, "Is it out of where our old office used to be?" And I was like, "No, it's out of where my house is now."
Yeah.
And I didn't put two and two together. She was like, "I used to work at the place on the first level from your old office."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh, okay. I thought you looked kind of familiar." And she was like, "Yeah, we used to crack up because we could hear your guys' podcast clear as day while they're doing like the spa treatments and the massages and stuff." And she was like, "Yeah, I used to make everybody laugh because you guys would be ranting about wrestling and stuff." So
that's funny.
The girl downstairs says hello.
Oh, well, hello.
So anyways, if you guys want to go to Roseville Serenity Spa, it's a really lovely place. I got a killer massage. It was awesome.
Yeah.
It was
feeling relaxed today?
As relaxed as I ever am. Yeah. I'm feeling pretty good.
You ready to ball up tomorrow?
Yeah, I'm down. There we go. So speaking of balling up, whatever. We had what is this? Collision, AEW Collision.
Collision, yes.
The Continental Classic. Champagne.
I'll say this about the Continental Classic. AEW for a while, and we've criticized it heavily for this, was a bit creatively scattershot. At least having this tournament, you're getting 3 tournament matches per show, and they're all good.
They are always good. Yeah.
Really, really good.
Yeah.
It's providing a measure of focus for a good portion of the show, because if we're not getting a Continental Classic match, we're getting some promo or backstage segment that usually involves the tournament.
Mm-hmm.
So if nothing else, the tournament's provided good matches and some measure of focus for the programming. I guess that'll continue till the end of the year. And then once the tournament ends, who knows what's going to happen after that? Maybe they'll come up with another tournament because they realize, this actually really helps us focus creatively what we're doing.
Kind of like the NBA in-season tournament. At first, everybody was like, what the hell is this crap? But now that they're forced to do like math and look at like, the
charts,
grid.
Yeah.
It's got some intrigue behind it. They're making it into a big deal. Eddie Kingston's going to fucking win this thing, by the way.
Yeah.
He's going to run the table on the rest of his matches. This is how I think it's going to work out. I don't know if
he's got to beat Claudio. He's got to beat Garcia and Andrade. That's the blue.
That sounds
blue
right.
League, right.
Yeah.
But then Danielson's got to lose 2 matches. Who's Danielson going to lose to?
Danielson's going to lose to Garcia.
Yeah, probably.
He's going to lose to Garcia, and
actually Danielson would have to lose 3 matches.
He's at 6 now, isn't he?
No, this was Danielson's first match.
Oh yeah, he's at 3.
Well, at least he can only win 2 matches. Sorry, he can only win 2 matches.
Well,
so if he wins 3 matches, he'd have a tiebreaker. Although I guess the 2 top point leaders in each
don't they go to the knockout round? Yeah,
yeah,
I think they do that. And I think that's what they're doing with Eddie is like he loses these 2, he'll eke out the next one, and then he'll win like the next 2 because that'll get him to 9.
Yeah.
Because like I was really thinking about what you were saying the other day because I was like, oh man, Swerve might win this whole thing. You're absolutely right in that Swerve's not going to walk around with a bunch of mid-card titles. Eddie putting them on the line and then going through and eking out that's going to be his like WrestleMania moment or all-in moment or whatever.
Yeah.
And he's going to have the 3 mid-card titles because that's sort of, he makes those things mean a lot,
Well, also for him, like that era of All Japan Pro Wrestling where the Triple Crown there was.
That's exactly right, yeah.
Like the top titles in the entire sport of pro wrestling because they're putting on the best matches every show.
Yeah.
Eddie's talked extensively about the King's Road style and how much that means to him.
Yeah.
So I mean, already in this episode, they gave Mox an out. Like he said, my body's failing. I'm falling apart.
He's a mess mentally and physically.
Yeah. And imagine if Mox has to face Eddie of all people in the finals.
Right. Yeah.
Given their history.
Yeah.
So. I when Eddie put up both those belts before they even announced the field, you're like, oh, Eddie's got to be at least a contender to win this thing, if not at least make it to the finals. But if the story is they're setting up Eddie. So now every match is essentially win or go home for him.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
Every single one.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if he ends up pulling this out. That makes a lot of sense.
It's a smart move too for AEW not to jump right into, and this is going back to just how insane it is to book a G1 because there's so many participants, so much math involved.
So many stories to tell. Yeah.
This is like, sort of a Dullard's version of the G1. And when I say that, I mean that, in a nice way. But it's like, okay, you could do a very simplified version of what they do in the G1 where somebody goes down really heavily and then they have to run the table in order. And that's got that. I gotta believe that's going to be Eddie in this situation. Because I just don't, but it's also a really kind of a ballsy move to have guys like Jay White and Andrade. It's like, okay, Brody King, if he wins the entire thing, he's sort of overperforming. You know what I mean? He's sort of, he's going beyond his ceiling. I love Brody King. I think he's awesome, but you got guys like Jay White, Swerve, you got Mox, you've got big ass names in this thing. It's sort of a ballsy thing to be like, no, we're going to do this straight up. No, I mean, yeah, ref bumps can happen theoretically if the ref's not paying attention and somebody shows up ringside. I guess that's a possibility. But to have prominent names, have to lose like 2 matches or whatever.
Well, and of course, there's the time limit draws too. You still get a point for a draw, but you got to imagine at some point there's going to be, I don't know about a lot of draws. There's going to be some draws happening.
Yeah, right. Yeah. And they made a point on this collision of saying, we've got backup matches in case some go short, know. So they're starting to tease, and they've always done the thing where we're going to stay with this match regardless. We've already talked to TNT about the overrun situation, So it is. It's a bit of intrigue, and I'm enjoying the classic so far. I think it's been
it's been pretty fun. It's been pretty fun. And the matches so far across the board have really delivered. Roderick Strong had another strong showing on Collision. Saying that Joe is his best friend by proxy now because Adam Cole considers Joe a friend. And he's insisting that MJF is the devil underneath that devil mask. We mentioned earlier that there was a friend in the comments that seemed to think that Roderick Strong was one of the masked assailants on Dynamite last week. And if that's the case, assuming Wardlow for sure, seemingly based on his hat head, yes. Just have a mask
1,000%. 1,000% Wardlow.
Is a part of it. So you got Roddy, you got Wardlow.
The Kingdom.
You gotta think it's the Kingdom.
Yeah. They have the Sean Spears bodies. It's like, I know people that didn't watch that episode are gonna be confused, but we had said that Sean Spears is the kind of guy. He's got that generic build.
He's 6'3", 225 pounds.
He's got the WWE normal dude build. Yeah. And they've got the same kind of build between 6 and 6'3", muscular. Nothing crazy about them, they don't have.
But not like Wardlow huge,
Not Wardlow huge. That's why Wardlow stands out, and that's 1,000% Wardlow. Mainly the hat hair really got us, but yeah, I could see that being the thing. I could see that totally being the thing.
Yeah, I could too. I totally could too. Gosh, there's something else that was interesting. We'll get to it. The show opened up with the usual show open promos, hyping up their matches, so on and so forth.
These were a bit sleepier than usual. I texted you this. Danielson's great, but he kind of does the same. Look, Danielson, he's an awesome promo. I love him. Sort of says the same things these days. It's just when you get him in the ring. That match with Eddie was awesome. He's got such a brilliant way of simplifying matches so that they just become so compelling. You know what I mean? There's no excess fat there. It's just
it's like both in this case, both he and Eddie, they know all right, this is a story we're telling. What's the most efficient way of telling that story?
Yeah, right, exactly.
And so
it's like the universal language that they're using,
Yeah, and it's not like there's a lot of extraneous bits of story in the match. The story of that was simple.
Yeah.
But because it was so simple, they were allowed to just focus solely on the performance aspect of it and delivering that story. So at the end, when you see Eddie just like, all right, I'm done.
Yeah.
You got me. And realizing the dire situation he is now in this tournament.
Yeah.
Still being defiant to the very end, giving Danielson the middle finger.
Yeah, right.
And that just powering up Danielson enough to eke out that win.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. But yeah, the whole I'm sort of where you were when the Collision intros began.
I've never been into these. Never.
I was, because I was like, oh, that's a cool throwback, and everybody would be like yelling into the camera. These days, Brody King just looks like an absolute monster, and I love him in the ring. Not the most compelling promo in the world. That's okay. Not everybody is.
He kind of feels like he needs a bit more of a pro wrestler voice.
Yeah, he needs to do what the Butcher did with Butcher and the Blade. Let me tell you something. That kind of stuff. Instead, he's trying to be a little too Malachi. Malachi is only the guy who can be Malachi. So Brody gives kind of a sleepy promo. Claudio's promos are almost always sleepy. Andrade and CJ Perry have less than zero chemistry. I don't know why they're together. I'll be honest, even CJ Perry instead of Lana, CJ Perry ain't got a lot of chemistry with Rusev or with Miro either, which is the weirdest thing. Garcia has his Dirk Diggler promo, and then you get Danielson, and then you get Eddie, and even Eddie does the same thing every time now too. How much time do I got? I got to do these little intros. We all know that that there's production people there.
I know. Everything's an inconvenience to Eddie Kingston. Everything.
That's his gimmick. It's all an inconvenience. Exactly. Yeah.
So the first match was Brody taking on Claudio. These two guys were beating the hell out of each other, especially at the beginning of this match. It was hey,
awesome.
We're two gigantic pro wrestler dudes.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to hit each other with our hardest shots and see who's going to fall first. That was the beginning part of this whole match.
Yeah.
And the outcome was somewhat surprising because in the end we got Claudio hitting the DVDs. They each kick out of one of their respective, not finishers obviously, but at least a signature move. So Claudio's looking for a Ricola bomb. Brody escapes that, so Claudio's looking for a springboard uppercut. Instead, Brody counters with a forearm. Might a little cast in with that shot too.
Yeah.
Follows with a pile driver. Claudio kicks out of that, but then Brody hits him with a massive lariat to get the win.
Yeah.
So
really
6
good
points
stuff.
for Brody.
Really good stuff. 6 points.
3 for Claudio, I believe.
After that, we had a Mox promo. Boy, this was personal. He says, it was pretty lengthy, but it was all really, really good. He said, if it turns out entering this Continental Classic tournament was a bad idea, I won't find out until it's too late. I'm banged up, man. Maybe the last 5 years are starting to catch up with me because nobody's done it like I've done over the last 5 years. My head hurts, my back hurts, my neck hurts, my knee hurts. Getting that tingliness in my fingers now all the time. I live in pain on a day-to-day basis. On top of that, I feel like my head's not screwed on straight, man. Doctors are prescribing me this medication, that medication. I'm just sick of it all. I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. I'm sick and tired of my body failing me. I'm sick and tired of being depressed, of being pissed off. So I'm going to do the only thing I've been good at. I'm going to fight my way out of it. I'm going to put every ounce of effort and will into winning this tournament. This is the kind of thing AEW is built on, man. Feeling that connection with the audience who loves wrestling as much as we do. That's what AEW is all about. Somebody's got to step up and win this tournament, show the world AEW is, and that's going to have to be me. Anybody can say what they want, but I'm the ace of the world, and that's just the way it is, bitch. There's nobody in this tournament who can do anything to me that's worse than what I deal with on a daily basis. There's nobody worse than the demons I fight on a daily basis. If you think I'm shot, I'm right for the pick, and please take your shot.
It's good stuff.
It's so good, man. He's just in a stairwell, too.
Oh, and just tired and pissed off. And
just pissed off, grumpy.
Seemingly feeling like hell.
So
next we got Abaddon taking on Kira Hogan. This was a good match. Abaddon gets the win. I haven't seen Abaddon do that finish, where it's like kind of like a head scissor DDT type deal.
Yeah, that's cool, huh?
That was crazy. That was awesome.
Neat.
So after Abaddon gets the win, lights go down. They come back up. Julia Hart standing in the ring in the corner. So Abaddon does this thing with where they grab their head and turn the neck, and so Abaddon starts walking towards Julia. Lights go down again. They come back up, and then Julia's gone. So Abaddon standing in the ring alone.
Yeah. So there's your next. Guess that's your next feud right there.
Yep.
Yeah, that's good stuff. I like Abaddon.
That would be good stuff.
Abaddon's got just the best presentation.
Oh, it's fantastic.
Honestly. After that, we have Samoa Joe interview. Marvez asks about MJF accepting the tag match on Dynamite. Samoa Joe says, why wouldn't I be furious? But then you hear, Samoa Joe, listen, dude. It's Roderick Strong. He says, I'm willing to forgive you for trying to end my career by breaking my neck not once but twice. I know you have that world title match with Max, but listen, this is clearly a trap. Max is the devil. But listen, my best friend Adam says he likes you and you're a friend of his, so since he's my best friend, that makes you my best friend by proxy. Listen, Wednesday is just a setup, dude. His goons are going to come beat the crap out of you and he's not even here right now. He's probably plotting right now how he's going to do it. Are you even listening to me? And then Samoa Joe just laughs and walks away.
Yeah. The Kingdom were like, why is he laughing? Did I make a joke?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty funny. Then we got a Sting video package hyping up his retirement match at Revolution.
Did they end up running the Flair promo on Rampage?
They cut the line out. Thankfully.
There you go.
Thankfully. Then we got Daniel Garcia versus Andrade El Idolo. We had Daddy Magic on commentary, and he was barred from interfering in this match. Memories.
Yeah.
So these guys have good chemistry. It's a good match.
Yeah.
Another instance where Daniel Garcia puts on that Dragon Tamer, really cranks back on it, and when he leans back, he goes too far, and it leads to him losing. It's like at least the third match in a row that's happened.
Mm-hmm.
So he really leans back and allows Andrade a chance to break it, and then Andrade just transitions to a hammerlock DDT. Bang, he gets the win.
Yep. Good stuff. Really good stuff, though.
Yep.
Really good stuff. Then we had a recap of Wardlow and AR Fox, and then we get a Willie Mack promo because he's Wardlow's next match.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, Wardlow, I know you've been going through tough times these past few weeks and putting your hands on people. One thing you know about me is you don't put your hands on my friends. This is a person I've tagged with, so what I'm going to have to do is reach out and touch you. It's a good promo. I like Willie Mack. He's great.
Oh, Willie Mack's a great promo.
He's about to eat a Powerbomb Symphony, though.
Yeah, no, fortunately. Next up, we got the Kingdom taking on the Iron Savages. So Dasha's introducing the Kingdom. Roddy interrupts. Dasha! Says, first things first, I just want to say something to my new best friend by proxy, Samoa Joe. Everything I said back there was true. Max is the devil, and you're going to find that out very soon. You three dweebs in there, we're not going to deck the halls with you guys. You're going to get your asses beat. So I'm going to dedicate this match to my best friend, whether he wants it or not. Adam! And Kingdom
this is
wins.
great, too, because, the Kingdom end up getting the win. And then afterwards, while they're sort of raising their hands, Roderick Strong runs in and drops Jack Jameson with a jumping knee. Then, of course, he does the thing where he collapses. He tumbles out of the ring onto the wheelchair. The wheelchair flips over. It was pretty great. Hilarious, yeah.
It's great. Then we got an Ethan Page interview. And he says, ever since losing to MJF in the world title match in my home nation of Canada, I've had to regroup. I've gotten the best shape of my life, and I've been in Ring of Honor racking up win after win, so I'm here to issue a challenge. And I want to check off one of the things on my bucket list. We're heading back to Canada next week. If I want to be the king of Canada, the crown is sitting on someone else's head. So I want you next week in Montreal, Kenny Omega.
Yeah, Kenny responded to that on Twitter. What? You want me? So, yeah, that's cool. That's good for Ethan Page. He needs to be involved in stuff.
I know.
Like, he needs to go to NXT or something.
He is really super jacked.
Dude, he's in phenomenal shape.
Yeah,
I've seen pictures of him on the social media.
He's got a fantastic shape.
Bodybuilder shape now.
Yeah, he is.
After that, we had a video package for Mercedes Martinez and Willow Nightingale. Has this been something that's been building on Ring of Honor?
I would guess so. This might be a match for Final Battle.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Oh, we got finally, confirmation of another match that we've been like, are they even going to do this match? We'll talk about that in a second. But first we had Malachi Black and Buddy Matthews versus Matt Sydal and Christopher Daniels. Given that lineup, Larson, who do you think won this match?
I mean, Christopher Daniels been in the business for 30 years. Matt Sydal's been wrestling forever, too. Of course, they took the L.
Yeah, they definitely did. There is some
the
really good
surprising,
stuff.
It was this match. They gave this match plenty of time.
They gave it a lot of time, for an outcome that you sort of knew was coming. But there was a lot of good stuff in it. There was.
I mean, Sydal and Daniels could still go.
Yeah, absolutely. So, anyways, Black Mass to Daniels to get the win here. Lights go down. FTR's music hits. They come to the ring. Malachi says, "Before you both do anything, I assume that the both of you are here because you're joining House of Black." Which I'm like, what? He said, "So you strike me as a family. I know you're a family man, and the only people in this locker room who have been here for both of you is the House of Black." Big House of Black chants. Yeah. "I've done lots of things, but not once have I told a lie." Puts the microphone down. And then commentary's like, "Oh, are they going to join House of Black?" That'd be a weird pairing right there.
It really would be.
And then so Dax goes down to reach it. He reaches down to pick it. "Oh, okay, get this mic here. I'm gonna be here on House of Black. We're gonna start a podcast, House of Black podcast." But then it's just him.
Yeah.
So
as he's talking
yeah
about Bret Hart matches with Malachi.
As he's reaching down to pick up the microphone, sucker Buddy rocks him with a running knee. Yeah, that was
destroys
awesome.
him with that knee. Holy cow!
That was great. House of Black lays out FTR. Buddy holds up Dax as Malachi hits Cash with a black mass. Malachi says, "You see that? No one is coming for you. And boy, were my predictions right last week. Nobody's coming for you. And then Dax flips off Malachi. Gets KO'd with a black mass.
At least, like the genesis of this feud was kind of head scratching, but at least House of Black's doing cool stuff.
Oh, I know, man. It's impossible for them not to. They're great.
Malachi out there kicking people in the head. It's great.
Yeah.
It's
an audition for WWE. Hopefully they're paying attention.
Yeah, could be. Anyways, earlier, Renee is interviewing Tony Storm. And Renee is about to ask a question, and Tony says, I have no time for these prepared questions. First of all, where is that man who does my interviews? He has so much more poise. And she still has, like, her hair in curls. And she says, they didn't even finish up my hair because they were too busy working on that blonde floozy. I hope that wasn't you, she says to Renee. Renee's trying not to laugh like this whole time.
Yeah.
She continues, I did accept my championship last week on Dynamite until I was unceremoniously interrupted by Sky Blue Sky. If I had any advice for you at all, it'd be to walk backwards, because the only time someone has something nice to say about you is when they're taking pictures of your bottom. Am I supposed to be worried because you're spooky now, because you put that little thing in your hair? I used to wear a little hat. I could be spooky. Boo! See? If you want to interrupt me, fine. You could be my first challenger for this Huckleberry right here talking about the AEW Women's title. But until then, chin up, tits out, and she looks down. Oh, I'm barefoot. And she says to Renee, well, you mind helping me, darling? She goes down and takes off one of Renee's shoes and tosses it to her as she leaves.
It's so good. It's so flipping good. And I love when she pronounces dynamite. Dynamite.
Yeah.
So we get the response here from Sky Blue. She says, Tony, I've met you through all your phases, but this midlife crisis you're going through is the most pathetic thing I've seen so far. But you haven't met this Sky Blue, so bring your butler, bring your blonde bimbo, and whatever 1940s black and white crap you got up that robe, because none of it is going to stop me from taking your title. So I'm going to keep my chin up, my tits out, and shove that shoe up your ass. Yeah, that'll be a fun match.
It will be. Next, Christian Edge video package. They got a match for that TNT title at Dynamite, which I'm doubting we're going to get a clean finish for.
Yeah, you're probably right. Dynamite. Then we had Elio Del Vikingo versus Kip Sabian.
Yeah. Kip, what I missed the little promo Kip did before. What did he say? Little picture-in-picture interview?
I'll be honest, man. I fast-forwarded through it.
All right. He lost. Vikingo. He's amazing.
I'm like, why am I watching a Kip Sabian match right now? Love me some Vikingo, though, I'll tell you what.
Oh, man. Tornillo puts Kip back in the ring. Meteor, then that 360.
Yeah.
That looked nasty.
Yeah, man.
630. Sorry,
630. Yeah, the 630.
Not 360. Yeah. He did it. He spun it a couple more times.
I mean, I get it. You want to put the dude, because he's going to be in that big tag match with Top Flight and them dudes. So put him on TV, I guess, a little bit. I'm not going to argue with the Vikingo match.
Our review king says Kip just said that Vikingo was overrated.
Yeah, I don't think I missed much on that one then. After that, we had a Keith Lee interview. This was finally, goodness gracious. So actually, Lexi asked, so who is him that you were talking about last time? And he was about to answer. And Shane Taylor and Lee Moriarty walk in, and Shane says, I know exactly who him is, but you ain't done enough to look past me. He says, last year's tag match didn't solve anything for me. So this year, let's give people the fight they want to see. Shane Taylor versus Keith Lee at Final Battle. And I beat your ass in front of the entire world. And Lee says, challenge accepted. They have to do it now, man. They have to do the match.
And so him is confirmed, not Shane Taylor.
That's what I'm thinking. Right.
Yeah. It's got to be Swerve.
You would think so.
It's got to be Swerve.
Yeah.
You would think. Next, we got a CJ Perry interview, but Miro storms in. He starts banging on Andrade's locker room door. And CJ's like, don't go in there. She says, look, I know you think bad things are going to happen, but I got to do this. You picked your God, and now I have to prove myself. By winning this tournament, I'll get on that path. If you want to go in there, fine, go in there, but please, if there's any love you have for me, please let me do this and let me find my own way. And if I mean anything to you, don't lay a hand on my client. Miro says, my God is gone, but if he was still with me, I'd be in this tournament ripping and destroying Andrade. But I promise you, I won't lay a hand on your client. You have my word.
This isn't great. I'm sure whatever match they do, Miro versus Andrade, that'll be good stuff.
Yeah.
It'll be a cool feud, I guess. But this isn't really great stuff.
They had promise. I mean, it could still, sometimes, there's been really good stories that had, not the best of segments.
There's just a lot going on. Miro had God, now he's got no God. And then she's like, well, you have a God, but I want to be an agent. It's kind of like all over the map, you know?
Yeah,
That's mainly it. And
the focus. Whereas if Miro has title, that he feels like he's deserving of his wife, and he can.
That made sense.
Yeah,
but kind of the problem with that is it's kind of like you remember Norm from Cheers, how you never saw his wife.
Yeah.
Or Niles on Frasier, you never saw his wife.
Yeah.
It kind of worked better when the wife. Look, we all know who the wife was, obviously. Yeah. But it kind of worked better when she was just sort of like this nebulous thing, you know, this sort of object.
Yeah.
Because the stuff that he was talking about was just like, it felt more mythical than anything, you know?
It did. It really
When you
did.
actually have a person shows up and she's like, I want to be an agent.
Well, I know that's part of it too, is it did have that kind of mythical quality to it. And then everything she's done so far is so grounded.
Right.
In reality, whereas, you know, is Miro delusional having these conversations with his God? You know, there's so much going on to it that's not grounded in reality.
It's like you expect her to show up and be like, hey man, the lawn hasn't been mowed for a while.
I know. Put your Speedo on, go out there and mow the lawn.
Right. Yeah. We got a barbecue to go to on Sunday. Are you going to be there or not? You know, are you going to smoke some meat?
I know. Or are you going to dedicate the afternoon to your God again?
Right.
You know.
Hey, we're supposed to binge watch some Dateline. Are we going to do that or not? It's like she sort of brings a bit of like, I don't know, you know, like he becomes a bit pedestrian now because
I mean, I feel like there's a way to ground the story somewhat to make it potentially more intriguing, but this ain't it so far.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Where she's like pleading to him, you know, you got to get away from these delusions, if you will, that you're having.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Return to me, to your wife.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, or if the situation is like she needs to prove to him that she can be successful on her terms, not his. Which I think is a good idea. I don't know. It's not really necessarily. I feel like that's kind of the gist of what's going on here. It just really doesn't seem to have the focus it needs to really get the story across.
Maybe could have worked a bit better. Is if she came back as a wrestler as opposed to an agent, because she's sort of like on par with like Mark Sterling. You know, she has to go around trying to get clients, and they try to come to her.
Part of it is AEW typically does not do managers well.
Yeah, I'm not going to disagree with that. But I wonder if, like, I don't know, because the wrestlers are all like sort of larger than life, you know, they do superhuman kind of stuff, you know.
Yeah.
And I wonder if she was able to find success in the same field as him, and there could have been some sort of like, you know,
or if he feels like God has forsaken him but chosen her instead.
Right. Yeah. But like, it doesn't really work if you're just sort of like an agent,
you
know. So I don't know.
Well, I mean, I guess it could if she comes in as like,
she's
I'm
like
going to find God's next chosen one.
Oh, there you go. See,
you forsaken God.
Yeah.
So,
but then Andrade has his own goals and stuff. It's not like she's, you know, touting him. She's like, no, don't touch him.
And it seems like like her and Andrade don't talk.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Like she got with the tournament and he's like, what? This is news to me. Mid-interview, you're just telling me this now?
Their chemistry is it's so whack. There is no chemistry there whatsoever.
Not really, no.
But maybe it's a reps thing. Maybe they just need to get a little bit more solid of a direction, and they'll find it, you know?
Yeah.
So I don't know. Anyways, because there was such that mythical quality between Lana and Rusev, you know, when they were at their best, it was like, oh man, their chemistry playing people that they are not really, really works. And then when they're just like kind of playing themselves, like it kind of doesn't work. Anyways, main event was Danielson versus Kingston. We talked about this a lot already. Really phenomenal match. Go check it out. There's a sequence where they're doing chops at each other, and I'd love that stuff because they're so loud.
Oh, it was so good. And it wasn't just chops for the sake of chops. Like it was the story of the match, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
In the end, though, Danielson hits belly to back, and Eddie kicks out after Eddie kind of gave Danielson everything he has short of a powerbomb. And so Danielson hits some Danielson stomps. By that point, he's exhausted. He's beat up. He's tired. He collapses. Mm-hmm. So they kind of crawl so they're face to face with each other. Eddie just starts screaming in Danielson's face and gives him the middle finger. And Eddie is just trying to get to his feet. But after seeing Eddie yell at him and give him the middle finger, Danielson's like, all right, that's that. You're done. So
I
he
can
gets
tell
up
you're
first, and
done.
as Eddie's just trying to get to his feet, Danielson takes him out with a D+ to get the win.
Yeah, good stuff. Would you like to answer some questions?
I guess so.
Answer some questions. That's how I feed my family. Let's see here.
This is a good question from Sebastian Garcia. How would you guys have persuaded Orton to join Going in Raw? Imagine one of us or both of us are in the ring with Pierce and Aldis. We got a Foley of our own with the Going in Raw logo on it.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah.
What's our pitch to Randall Keith Orton?
Does he strike you as a person to get moved by a larger dollar amount?
I'm sure he has tons of money.
We can't really
Money's
offer
not-
that anyways.
No, he couldn't.
More camera time than he gets now. Right now,
He gets
he
a ton.
is, it's like, hey, the platform is yours for as long as you want it. Do you want to do a 24-hour stream? You can do a 24-hour stream. Right now on Raw or SmackDown, you get what? A 10-minute segment, a 12-minute match? That's peanuts. You have a lot on your mind. You deserve all the time to say it. That sounds kind of lame, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I don't know what the angle is.
I don't have much to offer him whatsoever. And on top of that, I don't even know if I'd want him around because he'd RKO me and that'd hurt.
That's why you have to do everything remotely.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
He said he wanted to wrestle 10 more years.
Mm-hmm.
We can show him We Book Raw and the flesh mech that we constructed for Daniel Bryan.
Now you're
Be like,
talking.
This is how you can wrestle for as long as you want.
Yeah, that's good.
Flesh mech technology.
We got to bring that back, man. Let's see here. Oh, wow. Eastside says, what's the best wrestling-related Christmas gift that you ever received?
I don't know if
I'm sure I've gotten you something. You've gotten me something, but
Yeah.
I don't know what it is.
like a shirt or something, probably.
Probably a shirt. I don't know.
Did I get you that Lucha Libre book for your birthday or Christmas?
Christmas, maybe?
Yeah, maybe. I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't know. Don't ask us questions about our memories. They're awful. They're awful.
Not good. Luis says, was going to ask this on the Wrestle Juice Q&A, but didn't get in time, so it would have been better if Punk debuted at the Rumble. No, you need that Chicago pop.
Oh
need
my
the pop of
God. Yeah, you
Chicago.
need that.
You
Yeah,
need
the
that.
Chicago pop is everything.
You need that.
Yeah. AJ Otani says, has being high. I love it. So like I did this on the Patreon thread, so you should have it there. And this one, for people who haven't had their questions answered in a while, or they haven't ever had it, I had them use a hashtag first.
Gotcha.
AJ asks, has being high ever heightened your watching experience? He says, I feel it makes hardcore matches better.
I mean, I can only think of one time I've ever really watched wrestling under the influence of anything, and it was a house show.
And I feel like that didn't kick in until like the end
Towards
of the
the
show.
end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't remember anything. I remember it heightened the experience of being at that restaurant.
Very much so.
Like doing the bill, having to do math.
It's the funniest thing you'd ever seen.
It was really funny. It was hilarious. That receipt was hilarious.
It was a hilarious receipt. Alex Foster says, if you guys were the bloodline, what words or phrases would Roman get sick of you saying like he does Yeet? He would get so sick of Friendo, I guarantee you that.
Yeah, big time. No friendo.
Stop. Don't like that.
Don't like that.
Don't
come
like
on, friendo. No friendo.
Stop. No Friendo.
I drop a promo and be, let me tell you something, friendo. Oh, wait, hold on a second. No friendo.
No Friendo.
He said, no yeet. Let's see here. Real TJP says, do you think Randy Orton will tie Cena and Flair as a 16-time world champion?
No.
Don't see it happening.
Don't see it happening. Andre Zimpel says, what's your favorite Christmas movie, song, and TV special? One of each, Steve. Favorite Christmas movie?
Favorite Christmas movie? Not a huge on Christmas. Oh. Bad Santa, the unrated version.
Yeah, you
Holy
love Bad
shit,
Santa.
that's funny. That is a hilarious movie.
I've seen A Christmas Story so many times. I don't know. I can't say that one.
It is the classic, but it's
Yeah.
also kind of like, I've seen that too many times. It's like a Red Hot Chili Pepper song. I've just heard it way too many times.
Way too many times. Speaking of music, what's your favorite Christmas song?
Dude, there's a lot. Oh, man. I love the old stuff. You know, like I'm dreaming, where you can hear like the hiss of the recording.
Yeah.
I'm dreaming of a white.
You know what? There's a couple Christmas standards that I think you basically can never go wrong with, like "Oh Holy Night." What a beautiful song!
Oh, I know, right?
What a beautiful song.
Oh gosh.
Ave Maria.
Oh man, Ave Maria. That's a mind blower.
Beautiful song.
Ave Maria.
I don't know about Christmas TV specials. I can't think of any Christmas TV
Christmas TV specials. Was there a Christmas themed episode of MASH? Knight Rider? Was there a Christmas Knight Rider?
Probably not.
Was there a Christmas Quantum Leap? Might have been that.
Was ever a Christmas Star Trek episode?
I was just thinking, I don't believe so. They didn't even have like Christianity then. A couple hundred years is going to be gone. Maggie mentions the Christmas Guardians of the Galaxy special. Yeah, that was fun. That was a fun one.
I never saw that one.
That was good. Yeah, I don't know, man. Let's see if there's any other first.
I got one here from Brendan Monroe. Says top 5 feuds for Eddie Kingston in the Fed. I don't know if Eddie, like, I'm sure if he went to WWE, he'd be all right, but I don't know.
Eddie seems like he doesn't fit in there.
He doesn't, and it feels like the stories that he likes telling might not be the type of stories WWE does.
His current gimmick of guy who doesn't like to be inconvenienced, especially by production things, he would have a field day in WWE because it's all like highly produced. You know, you're using all sorts of different signs for me. I don't know what this sign is. Usually you wrap it up. They just do this stuff, but now you're doing a bunch of different stuff. Am I on the air in that? Yeah. Why are these lights all different colors back here? It's giving me a headache.
Yeah, just inconvenience upon inconvenience.
Okay, so that's going to do it for the show today. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. We appreciate it. Stay tuned for our Raw review tomorrow. Oh, wait a second. We got a Raw preview. What am I doing? I got Triple H on the line here. I tried to get Dick Slavitt, but he wouldn't do it.
Well, that's a bummer.
So you should be very happy that we've got Triple H on the line. He's the head of WWE, you know.
He is. I mean, who
Hello, Triple H, the game, head of all WWE here. What am I doing today? What is this now?
It's Raw preview. It's Monday.
Oh, that's right. It's Monday. It must be Monday. That's what you know that means. It's Monday, so we're going to do...
Could I ask you a question real quick before we get this Raw preview?
Yeah, don't interrupt, but yes.
Samoa Joe got injured during that Must Be Monday commercial.
Absolutely.
Knocked him out of action for quite a while due to concussion. How upset were you by that?
All the upset. Paul was upset. I didn't like it. I even did. Dad fired him. I rehired him, and then I got fired from NXT. And so basically, my love for Samoa Joe led to the creation of NXT 2.0. You know, it took that brand 5 years into the past. It was crap. It was garbage. I'll be honest with you. I still can't stand. I tell Heartbreak, hey, listen, we got to metal this show up. We got to be chain link fences, and it's gonna be like Raw Underground, but without Shane O'Mac, running around. And then he's like, no, it's great. I like it. It looks like a Nickelodeon show. And I'm like, we don't like the same things.
Yeah.
Pretty much. New metal, that's the future. Anyways, Raw. I wanted to do like a new metal Raw theme too. And Nick Khan was
which famed new metal artist would you want to do the theme?
Oh, man, you got to go with the classics, the Limp Bizkits, the Sum 41s. Oh, it's not really new metal. Maybe some Chord... maybe some chord. Use that. Freak Out.
What can we expect from Raw tonight?
Like people will mark out huge if Freak Out Unleashed was our Raw theme song.
Yeah, I guess so.
Anyways,
what if Break Stuff by Limp Bizkit was the Raw?
Just one of those days. Everything is tough. All right, so Seth freaking Rollins defends World Heavyweight title against Jey Uso. Guess what? We're not going to have a title change on TV, so we might have a wonk finish here.
Oh, I guess there's a huge wonk finish planned with Drew McIntyre involved. Yeah?
Yeah, so Drew McIntyre also vows to knock Sami Zayn out with a Claymore. So they've got a match. Don't interrupt. They've got a match. Then we've got Shayna Baszler taking on Nia Jax. They used to be tag champions together,
Yeah.
Nia
They
Jax
have a
is
match
going to be
against each other.
steamrolling Shayna Baszler on her way to Rhea Ripley at the Rumble.
Yeah, probably.
Also, Caden Carter and Katana Chance. I find it funny they're the only real tag team, and yet they never win anything because they're totally going to lose this match against Tegan Nox and Natalya.
That's a bummer.
And then you got the Creed brothers. I really like them against Dirty Dom and J.D. McDonough. J.D. McDonough, this dude loves to eat the pins.
It's a new Carl Anderson, if you will.
He is, yeah. Whatever happened to Carl Anderson in the OC? What happened to the
It's on
Hawk?
SmackDown, aren't they?
Yeah, but we didn't really do much with them.
Yeah, what is it? But you signed the Good Brothers, and then you never use them.
I gave them a lot of money, and I give them, as much time off as they want because we didn't treat them very well the first time. And I was like, hey, do you guys want to take some time off? And they're like, yeah. I was like, how much? They're like, all of it. I was like, really? What? You don't want to even be on TV or do something interesting? I've got some great stories. I've got 15 pages of TV written for the Good Brothers and the Hawk. And they're like, no, we're good. We just want to hang out in Florida. Book talking
All right.
talking Shopomania 5 or whatever it would be.
Yeah. You watched any of those Talking Shopomania?
Yeah, they're pretty funny. They had like a new version of Evolution, except they had Jindrak on there.
Yeah.
Boy, I really dropped the ball with that guy.
Yeah, best drop kick ever.
Yep. What was the name on that the TV show?
Marco Corleone.
Marco Corleone could have been. He could have been like like Cody Rhodes before Cody Rhodes. Could have been
Finish the
huge.
story.
Picadillo. Anyways.
All right, Triple H. Thanks for your time. Have a
I
good day.
followed his career. Don't interrupt. I'm not done with my story about Mark Jindrak. I followed his career very, very carefully and closely. So much so that yo comprendo español now.
Ah.
See.
Ah. Impressive.
It is very impressive. Anyways, that's going to do it. I'm very impressive. I'm the game. Goodbye.
Goodbye, Triple H.
Oh, is he gone now?
Yeah. Well, obviously, you're here.
Oh, yeah. I didn't know that. So, cool. Right on. John Chambers asks, isn't DIY having a match?
Wasn't on .com yet.
We are.
We are.
DIY. Anyways, that's going to do it for the show. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Appreciate it. Till next time, we'll see you around.
Goodbye.
Where's the thing here? Run the thing. Help support Friendo Club by going to patreon.com/Steven Larson or clicking join at youtube.com/Steven Larson. Access to bonus episodes, question threads for the Going In Raw podcast, and entry to our monthly wrestling predictions challenges. Join the Friendo Club today.